Last September, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and President Trump cut $1 billion deal with Kazakhstan, giving a little-known American company access to one of the world's largest untapped reserves of the critical mineral tungsten, which is needed for the production of missiles, fighter jets, and computer chips. But the deal proved profitable for more than just the United States. Within weeks of those negotiations, both Donald Trump and Lutnick's sons got in on the action, too. Joining us, New York Times investigative reporter Eric Lipton, who broke this story along with Anthony Scaramucci, who is still with us. So, Eric, how exactly do the Trump sons stand to benefit?
The Trump sons have invested in a company that's called Skyline Holdings, which used to build roads in Hong Kong, and it went out of business, basically. And it was a NASDAQ-traded shell that they, with their partners, have acquired kind of control of. And it is now moving to invest in this Kazakhstan mining project. So it was in between the time of September, when Howard Lutnick and the president were helping negotiate the deal, and November, when the deal was signed, that the Trump sons and their partners entered into this transaction and now stand to profit from it, even though the federal government is thinking about lending $1.6 billion to help this mine get going.
How did they get in on it in the first place?
So the Trump sons are part of a securities firm called Dominari that's based in Trump Tower. It's a couple floors below them there in the Trump Tower headquarters. And that company is sort of specialized in creating these kind of through SPACs or, pipes or, various maneuvers to create, take shell companies and then buy into various investment opportunities that align with the president's agenda. So, for example, they're investing in a military drone company called Unusual Machines. They're investing in critical minerals projects, which is, these are things that the federal government is spending tens of billions of dollars on, and they are sort of aligning themselves with that investment strategy and seeking to profit from it.
Is this an outlier? Is this the only instance that we can document where the Trump sons stand to benefit from a government contract?
I mean, it's the opposite of an outlier, and that we've spent a year and a half now documenting examples of this, and it's really, it really became most apparent initially with the cryptocurrency, which we spent a lot of time writing about, and we're still writing about. That's the case with predictions markets, where they are invested in predictions markets, and their dad took steps to through the CFTC to unleash that industry. It's the case with defense contracting. It's the case with critical minerals. There's just across the board. They're looking for opportunities to and then there's also the case with doing deals in places like Vietnam and a hotel complex are in the Middle East that are kind of aligned with his agenda through relationships that the president is to continue to expand there. So we are seeing this in a level unlike anything in American history. The opportunities to enrich themselves. There's never been anything like this, and we're just trying to document them as thoroughly as we can as they emerge.
Yeah, I mean, it's a full-time job, very obviously. The Trump administration responded. This is Kush Desai, White House spokesperson. He says the only special interest guiding the Trump administration's decision-making is the best interest of the American people. Securing and restoring America's critical supply chains has been a top priority for President Trump and Secretary Lutnick, along with the rest of the administration. They continue to take historic action to safeguard America's national and economic security. Do you buy that, Anthony?
I don't buy it, but I think one of the problems is the whataboutism in our society, right? So the president and his kids have decided to go exponential on the self-interest, but you have it on both sides. And so you had the Burisma thing was minor as an example, Katie, but my point is you have it on both sides. So when Trump goes to pardon his kids, he'll be able to say, well, Joe Biden pardoned his kids, so of course I'm going to pardon my kids. And we can document all this stuff, and I predict that this will end badly for them. But I guess the real question is, what is illegal and what isn't illegal? And obviously, they're flouting the spirit of the whole thing. We know that. And so the question then would be, how do we codify this to protect the country from this type of behavior going forward? But I sort of feel like the president will pardon all of his family members. And they're probably going to get away with it. I hope I'm wrong about that, but if you guys think otherwise, please tell me.
Well, I mean, there used to be a sense of shame that would stop people from doing stuff like this, families from profiting. Um, but there also was the American public and the voters who would not vote for you or vote you out of office if they thought that you were profiting off the presidency. That has changed, along with a lot else in this country. Let me play John Ossoff going after this deal in particular.
The U.S. government, run by their father, sets aside $1.6 billion of your tax dollars to fund and finance their mining project in Kazakhstan. All this while you pay more for gas, for groceries, for health care. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Billions from foreign princes and oligarchs. Sweetheart real estate deals all over the world, taxpayer funding to Trump-backed companies. And listen, here's the bottom line. If you're involved in any of this, next year you'll be raising your right hand and swearing to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, in front of the United States Congress.
Anthony, what do you think of the way that he's trying to tackle this?
Listen, I think he is incredibly effective. He's a great spokesperson. But again, he's not addressing the core problem. What is illegal? What isn't illegal? Are you allowed to insider trade in the Congress? Are you allowed to insider trade with the presidency? Can the president tip to his quote unquote businessmen sons deals? Is that legal? And I think Senator Ossoff is onto something. It smells terrible. It should be stopped. It should be prevented. But there's, we've lost our sense of shame. So remember something Trump said just quickly. He's going to the helicopter. They ask him about this sort of stuff. He said, one, it's peanuts, like it's not really that much money. And then number two, and this was to tell, nobody cares. And so hopefully what Senator Ossoff is saying is that people actually do care, and they show up in November and they send these guys a message.